Okay, you guys can, well, join the chat if you're watching the video, and if you're not watching the video, let me post into the chat room. Now press play on the video. So we got Tony Hart here, and then Michael from BST, so let me add that page to our list for today. Like I said, I want to make sure we get to people's pages that are here. There's only a few people online, so excuse me, we should have time to get to just about everyone. And all right, so that said, let's get started. So my name is Josh Ledgard, co-founder of Kickoff Labs. It should say that in the pretty little toolbox in the bottom of the screen if you're watching the video. If you don't know, our product, Kickoff Labs, is a tool that helps you generate leads for any type of campaign with landing pages, opt-in forms, and autoresponder emails. Our chat series is a chance for us to kind of share knowledge we've acquired running our product and watching what works for some of our best customers. Today we want to go ahead and review some landing pages live. It's a common thing. We get asked to do it all the time. And rather than just do them in private, we figured the reviews could be beneficial if we actually just did it live in person for folks. I think this is the 6th time we've done it. We'll post, when we do a recap, links to all of the previous ones. And Izzy, who is joining us today, works for us in marketing, and he does a great job posting the recaps and getting that feedback captured in both the video and the page, the blog post we make itself. I'll always say, you know, if we dug into somebody's landing page and when people contact us, if they want us to spend a lot more time on the copy and the market, we do a lot more. We look at how they're marketed, how they're advertised, where people come from, and that context adds a lot of information to the landing page reviews. Today we're going on that first impression. I see the landing page. I don't know much about your business. But I'm going to try and give some feedback based on what we know and our experience. There's a small number of people here today. I'm hoping that we can make it fairly interactive. I'll be checking back and forth with the chat room and back to the screen sharing as I'm looking at pages to go back and forth a little bit and see what we can come up with and answer any specific questions you might have. Feel free to post questions. Feel free to join the chat. If you haven't pressed play on the video, then you're not hearing this anyway. But press play on the video, and we will, as always, post a recap if you missed something online within a couple days after the actual video. All right. So the first page. Tony was here, but the first page somebody posted about was the bst.com site. Made some changes based on an earlier review we did. So I actually just pulled that up, and I'll share my screen, and I'll start with that one, and then we'll go kind of in order of the pages I had. If you're here and you're watching and you want to make sure we get to your page, please post that into the chat. And then we can make sure that we're capturing that page as well, and we're going over it, because I want to make sure we get to the pages of people that are here first. So let's see. Let's share my screen, and you should see in another minute or so. You should see the black saffron tea page, the world's best tea, made from the rarest spice in the world, reduces stress, risk of cancer, and heart disease, handpicked from the finest plantations in the world. Become an ambassador, drink, share, earn, live free. So at the top of the page, the first thing I'll notice is there's a little bit of I'd say things that could be reduced on this page, and maybe consolidated with a little bit of better design. So I love the box of the hero image. It explains exactly what it is. The logo up in the corner is nice. You've got only a few colors, so you've got sort of things that, if I look at the colors that are drawing my eyes, I see this purple, I see the purple on get free samples, I see the green for buy now on the button, and I see this yellow which says what homepage I'm on, and this leave a message, the homepage I'm on. So a couple things. Whenever I see these chat boxes on a page, I always wonder what the purpose of the chat box is. And since you're here, Michael, maybe you can tell us, do people actually fill this out? Do people come in here and introduce themselves and leave a message? I'm curious what kind of feedback you get from the chat and what you're hoping to get. And what I tell people is that when you add this kind of thing and it ends up being an extra distraction or an extra call to action on the page, it should be really clear what your goal is to the person. So it might not just be leave a message. It's, have questions on the tee, and maybe a little bit more of a specific call to action that might get you what you're hoping for on the page. And so I look at every item on a page and say, how does that benefit the customer and how does that benefit me as the person who runs the page? And so I think, I would wonder, that question for this box, and maybe if you're here, you can post the answer, Michael. But moving on, I think you've got these links here. I guess they're links and they're underlined. It's hard to tell they're links because they're gray. The underline makes it clear they're links, and then it goes down, but the headlines don't match the links. So I say handpicked. That's handpicked. It kind of matches. Goodness. I'm not sure these need to be underlined in here. I wonder if there's just not a better design because you've got some duplicates in terms of these benefits here, which are also linked. Well, nope, they open an image. I'm wondering if there's not a better way, because this text is really small, but the images have the benefits here. I'm wondering if you wouldn't be better off with kind of a paragraph introduction below the world's best tee. You pick these 5 best icons or the 4 best icons here, and then you put those up here below the paragraph text that are linked. Because I think these icons draw you in a little bit more than this text that's underlined. The underlined text is kind of hard to read when it's that long, and so I would take the ones that map to this, like the 5, they're 4 or 5 best benefits, and I would put them in a line up here. I would take some of the text copy, put it below the world's best tee, then put the 4 icons that link down to lower on the page, and I think visually that'll catch your eye, because right now, if your eye comes down the page, you're catching this, and then these icons, and you kind of overlook the buy and get free sample call to action. So if you think about it visually, if you instead had this visual your eye catches, the box your eye catches, and then the icons, your eye's kind of going to flow this way straight into the buy now, get free samples instead of flowing down the page, which is what they're doing right now. And I think that would be my biggest advice there is thinking about removing these, putting them here, put the text below here, and make somebody's think about the way people's eyes are going to flow down the page into your call to action buttons of the buy now and the get free samples. And so if I click that, you've got this get free samples. I always worry about dark boxes on the call to action. So on the form, this is your name, your last name, your email address. They always feel, it feels more non-standard. I always expect to see white boxes. And this button, I know you've got a background color issue here potentially. You want to make it match to what they clicked, and I guess that's what the background is here. But it can't necessarily be purple, but it could be another color that stands out. This button being dark feels very disabled. It doesn't feel like it's clickable. And then the name and last name and email address, I would honestly say honestly make these white boxes that are a little bit more traditional looking on a form, because anything that's non-traditional kind of makes people question what's going on, and that's where you have this dichotomy between what a designer suggests and what is a standard. And designers will always come up with things that look great potentially, but maybe frighten off users. Another random tip on this page, if it says 1,000 free vials remaining, I fill this out, it's probably still going to say 1,000 free vials remaining. Just as a little thing, when you give away a number on a page, to have something more specifically, I actually think this might be more powerful if it said 969 free vials remaining, or 687 free vials remaining. where it looks like it's more specific, where it could actually be counting down. Whether or not it actually is irrelevant. But when you say 1,000 and I come back to the page later, it's easy for me to know it said 1,000. And so it's kind of giving away the gimmick, whereas it calls your attention to it if it's 679 on the vials remaining that's there. That was my initial impression, so I'll turn it over to Izzy to kind of give his initial impressions and thoughts on the page.
Sure thing, Josh. Thanks. Actually, you have some really great suggestions. You actually went over to the what we would call the above the fold part, and you gave some really great suggestions. Actually, I was looking a little bit lower because actually what I tend to do when I visit a homepage, I'll kind of scan the upper part, like the header.
Do you want to share your screen, Izzy, so people can see what you're seeing?
Oh, okay, one sec. Actually, I should be sharing my screen.
Okay, yeah, I see it now.
Okay, sorry about that. So basically, what I just wanted to get to is that I usually scroll down a bit just to get a better idea of the business, and I've been noticing that there's a lot of companies that just tend to pack some of their paragraph text. So I would actually probably start separating some of the text, maybe highlight a couple, bold out some of the keywords, because these headlines really don't tell me too much. Saffron, okay, well I know that's an herb. Hand-picked goodness, well, okay, that goes just for about anything that can be consumed. But kind of just creating slightly more detailed headlines and slightly more detailed text that's describing, but also not too much text because people don't really read text. So just highlighting some of the most important words and some of the most important copy on the page. I guess that would be my further suggestion. I'm also seeing that there's this like switching of icons. First we have the image on the right, then we have the image on the left. That's something that's kind of more trendy, and it doesn't really help with the readability of the page. Overall, people kind of just scan pages and they just look at one side of the page. If you have text on both sides and you're having people kind of just go from one side to the other, I guess it tends to be a little confusing. So I guess that would be my suggestion. Josh, thanks.
All right, thanks, Izzy. People should be back seeing my screen now there, and hopefully that information is helpful, Michael. It sounds like you're hoping to get programs to use share an image so customers can create a card and give people a commission to upload the card design. I'm not sure how that fits with the main goal of what you're doing, but it's something that I would think about having a secondary landing page for. So if you've got this social campaign that you're doing that you want people to engage with, I think about that more as beneficial for once you've got 1,000 email addresses, setting up a second landing page specifically for that contest or that campaign, and only having one secondary call to action. So right now there's 3 on your home pages: buy now, get free samples, and this leave a message. I would think about only having 2 on the main home page, and then a third one to be a separate page that you drive traffic to with your email list. Hopefully that's helpful. I'm going to move on to the next page here. If anybody else has their page, they can jump in on the chat, but I'm going to go straight to the next page here, which we have try Noble Brewer Beer.co. I like beer, so I wanted to review this page. I was interested in the service here, and so I wanted to go straight into this one. The first thing I notice is obviously this nice round picture of beer. Goes along with the tagline, award-winning beers delivered. I almost wonder, because I think about pictures, and pictures should complement the text and vice versa. And I wonder if it's not better to have, instead of a half-drunk beer, a picture of, maybe zoomed out, a box of beers that's been delivered, and then the beer image. I understand it might not have been the first image you can find, but if the picture and the image can both be the picture and the text can both be self-explanatory without each other, that's really ideal. Right now it's not quite self-explanatory. It's like, well, your drink, this could be at a pub, it could be at somewhere else, but the text is very clear. So award-winning beers delivered. One note about this text is it looks like for some reason the font really overlaps. And it's a really small thing, but especially in the headline, if you've got this overlapping font, think about any little reason that somebody can think of. You want to look at a page with an eye of what are all the little nits that somebody might see when they're going through the page that makes them say, this seems less than trustworthy. And this is one of those things where your copy and everything on the page could be great. You could have a great incentive, because who doesn't want free beer as their incentive? But you're like, what would make me not want to sign up? And it's just the little tiny things like this headline font overlapping. I think if you separated this out, added a little bit more spacing there, then it would be a lot better. This font that explains what it is could be a little bit larger, because it's really, this is your headline slash main tagline. This is a better explanation. Shipments of beer inspired by the best amateur brewers. Learn their story, amaze your friends. I love that. I just think the font here could be a little bit larger to call that out. I think it's a great explanation of the business. I think it shares the benefit, a unique benefit, which is your benefit for amateur brewers and for the people there to amaze their friends, because they're going to be learning these stories about the amateur brewers. And I think it's a fantastic idea, and I think the text is well done. I just think it could stand out a little bit more. And then we scroll down a little bit, and you've got this form. Sign up for free beer, special updates, and be entered to win for free beer from Noble Brewer. I think it's fine. It says like, oh, sign up for free beer, like, oh, I'm gonna get it, and then it says sign up, enter to win. I kind of wonder if you want to be more upfront about that. About we give away, but be clear, like we give away 10 packs of free beer or 1 pack of free beer a month, and you could win. So it's a little bit more clear what's going on the page. The form, because I sort of wonder, so you're collecting the name, the email address, which is standard. You're asking for a phone number, a state, and a city. I assume you're asking for the state and the city because you want to know where they're located. I wonder if you really need that, or if you really need the phone number, or if at this point you're better off just collecting the name and email address, and if they win, then collecting this other information here to say join us, because this form is kind of lengthy for what you're doing at this point when you're just trying to gauge an interest in the page, and the less information you have on the form, the better. Then on the right-hand side, or the left-hand side, you've got Noble membership, cancel anytime, receive single-release high-quality beers, learn a story, discover how to evaluate the beer. I think this should be a little bit clearer about when we launch, because when I see the words cancel anytime and I see a sign-up form, I feel like, uh-oh, what am I signing up for? Is the next thing going to be a credit card form? You're trying to get people engaged with your community now, and I would be clear about that, and not talk too much. When we launch, membership will include, or Noble membership will include, and I wouldn't focus on the cancel anytime. I certainly wouldn't lead with that one. That's sort of your last one as a benefit, because the benefit isn't the cancel anytime. You want to focus on you're getting beer, you're learning the story, you're discovering how to evaluate, and oh, by the way, in small print, you can cancel your membership anytime. I certainly wouldn't lead with it. The About Us story is short and neat, and then you've got a quote. Noble Brewer allows us to connect with beer fanatics outside our neighborhood. We're looking to draw feedback about our brew and drawing inspiration from that. It sounds like you've kind of got two targets, the people that might be interested in the beer and the amateur brewery. I wonder if it would help you, instead of collecting the phone, the state, and the city, to ask, are you a brewer or are you just interested in beer? Because you probably want to connect two sides of that community, and adding a drop-down box or a checkbox to the form, although I said ask for less information, that information seems like it would be more important to this page than the phone number, the state, and the city. And now, if I actually just go, because I do like beer, so I'm going to fill this out and see what happens. And I'm just going to say, I don't think it's that important. I've got this join us button here. All right, and now it looks like it takes me to more of a home page. I didn't get thanked for joining. It seems a little odd. There wasn't a thank you. There was no opportunity to share that I joined and that there was a chance to win free beer. And you're really missing out if you don't have that that follow-up experience. There's nothing that confirmed that you got my information or what I had presented. And I think that having that extra bit of the extra confirmation and the sharing, something we do, by the way, by default on every Kickoff Labs page, would actually be immensely helpful, because we see on average a 35% boost from people that click share after they sign up on a form, and that thank you just helps add context. I notice the page also isn't responsive, so it's not changing. If I got a link to this page on a mobile phone, it's not changing for me. And I think that's really important too, as people, as for landing pages, about 45% of the views come from a mobile device, and that's something that I would really consider changing about this page. All Kickoff Labs pages, by the way, are responsive. It's just this one isn't. So that's my feedback on the page. I think I covered a lot. I'm not sure I left much room for Izzy, so I'm not sure if Izzy wants to add in anything that he saw about the page.
Yeah, sure, Josh. Actually, I just want to quickly add that, well, first off, I really love what the Oakland community is doing with all kinds of like brewers and makers. There's just a huge community that's spawning there, so my applause to them. And other than optimizing the form, I would probably maybe add these social share buttons to the thank you screen, which is something that's really missing from the page, and just tightening up some of the copy, just how Josh mentioned. And Josh, I wanted to mention to you that we got an interesting question coming in from someone that's looking to capture email addresses in anticipation of a crowdfunding campaign, and they're not sure how to best make it happen. Maybe you have a couple suggestions for them?
Yeah, there's actually a page later on in the review that is trying to do exactly that. Whether or not we get to it, I'll actually just answer that question now. So it's now a fairly common thing for people doing crowdfunding campaigns. I've seen this as a trend where they know that to show up on Kickstarter or Indiegogo or any of the crowdfunding companies, to eventually get on their list of hot or popular, can make a huge difference in whether or not they meet their funding goals. And so the strategy people have is exactly this. They want to build an audience before they launch their Kickstarter campaign. And it sounds a little strange. Before I launch a Kickstarter campaign, I want to build an audience. But it's true if you think about it, because the Kickstarter campaign, you're going to be asking them for money, whether or not they're charged at that moment. You do ask people to truly give a credit card number for the Kickstarter campaign, and we found that even in our case, the majority of people who pay us eventually for our services are people who are engaged with us through email long before they purchased. And so the same logic actually applies to a Kickstarter campaign, which is if you're going to be asking for money, it's best to have a list of 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 people, wherever, depending upon how much money you need and how many people you think are going to sign up before you launch. What I recommend people do is that They purchase a domain if you don't have one already, and then you set up a page like this one, join or try.noblebrewerbeer.com, or join my campaign, and you're up front and say, hey, this is the product we're thinking about launching. We're working on a Kickstarter video. If you want more information, sign up now, and give away an incentive to sign up. Like, you'll be the first to know. Even a simple incentive. You'll be the first to know when the Kickstarter campaign launches, so you can get access to exclusive rewards, because you can set exclusivity on the rewards and say, well, there's only 20 of these available. So if you want the 20 on the exclusive reward, you're going to want to know exactly when the Kickstarter campaign goes live. If you add your email address here, you're going to know exactly when it goes live. So even that as a small incentive for something can get people to give you their email address, because they want to make sure they get the best reward on the campaign, and people, and that's gonna help you grow a list ahead of time. I recommend doing that in conjunction with giving away some other incentive related to the product, whether it's a piece of technology related to the product, or whether it's an infographic or a PDF that helps the customer with their problem. And I think that would be really useful for folks as well. So putting up the landing page, collecting the email address, offering an incentive along the lines of be the first to know when the Kickstarter campaign goes live, and you'll get an exclusive reward, something along those lines. Then marketing that as best you can and I've heard people tell me their goal is generally to get about 2,000 email addresses before they launch the Kickstarter campaign. So while you're putting together that awesome video that you're going to be doing, to get 2,000 email addresses so that you can launch your Kickstarter campaign to those 2,000 people. Start getting them to go to wherever you're doing the crowdfunding, and then hopefully you can make it into like a trending category on the crowdfunding. So hopefully that answered your question. It's a really good question, and it's something that we're seeing a lot more people doing recently. All right, so I had another suggestion. So it's somebody, Bev Anderson, and my site is a landing page on EQWare. Is it exactly eqware.com? I'm going to copy that and open this here. Okay. So is it exactly this page, or is there a specific landing page? And I saw there's another page up there, Inside Out Health Tips. I should bring that one first, but we'll start here. So I'll actually take a look at this page until I find out whether or not it was this page you want us to look at specifically. The first thing I noticed was the very striking images that keep rotating here. And then the thing about the images was that they're not really clickable, other than having this the gallery rotator here. For e-commerce sites, people are going to click on things that are striking, and so if you give them something to do with that, may make sense. Although as I scroll down now, I realize that below the fold was your text and tagline here: fashion forward, look good, shop now. That headline really needs to be pulled up on this page. I mean, I don't have any toolbars in my browser, and you can see I came to this page and the headline was, down this page a bit. And then, so let's see, I scroll down the page, I see the headline and a single call to action, which is good. Let me see if that page, if I can get the images rotating. I don't know if the headline rotates with the images. Yep, flattering, feel good, shop now. Important thing with these rotators, I typically tell people not to change the copy with the rotators because you don't want things jumping around too much on the page. Although in this case, the copy is so short, it's not necessarily a bad thing, and the button and call to action remains the same on all of the pages. And so it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like I said, the bigger problem is that it's down so low on the page. And you might just come here, and if you want people to click this, they're most likely either going to leave or click one of these first before they click and they see this Shop Now piece. So now I scroll down the page and I get to see what you're selling, featured products, and these are all linked as an image. Although I think people tend to get drawn to click on things that are buttons. So if you could add, a button or buy now or add to cart or something that's a call to action on the page for these things, I think you'll get more people seeing it. Now if I click Shop Now, what happens? Yeah, I'm just taken into your products, the products page, which are here. That's my impression of the first thing is I noticed the image, but I didn't see the text. The text should be in the corner over here or up higher in the image, whatever works best, because if you want to get people to do it. And then the other thing I wonder is if these really are the only products at this time, why have people go to a separate page? Why not focus the page more on, well, these are the product lines that we're selling, make it simpler to start with so that people don't have to click through to see what's really just right below on this page. You think about it, the less clicks to get something in somebody's cart, the better. There's a reason that Amazon patented one-click purchases. Izzy, do you have any other comments?
Sure, thanks, Josh. Well, just looking at the page, other than the slightly oversized image, obviously images for e-commerce are really going to help boost your sales because it's a super visual medium. But maybe slightly resizing this so it doesn't take so much of my screen real estate. I mean, obviously I do like that it does appear above the fold, but just giving me some more text where I can read. I can see welcome to EQware. I mean, obviously I'm here on the site. Maybe providing just a little bit more text about the material of the jeans. Well, the jeans or the pants. Including some of the benefits, some of the features as well. Maybe maybe you have some famous writers that actually use your jeans. So maybe a testimonial from them, even from some of your users. I like how she's setting herself apart, Bev. Great job by having some what I would consider nicely priced items. So she has some pants that cost $588, $500 pants, $300 pants, $200 pants, which is really cool because it's kind of setting herself apart from kind of lower end. I'm not too familiar with the Western wear market, but I would imagine that she's trying to appeal to the higher end of the market, which is very cool. Keeping things on the same page, on the home page, is also very important, just to keep people from clicking away from the site. So with those and Josh's suggestions, you should get some pretty good optimization from your page. So
yeah,
good luck with that, Bev.
And Izzy, I think the one thing that I missed, that I really missed on the page, is you mentioned the price, and they say like good priced items. At that price level, you think about the amount of people that are going to instantly buy. There was actually nowhere on the page really where you're trying to collect email addresses or offer up coupon for getting their email address. I think it's really important to think about, especially when you start talking about more than $100, that such a small percentage are going to convert on the page that you want to start offering, like, what's your free offer? For free, do I give you a coupon? For free, will I give you 10 writing tips? For free, will I give you something where you start the relationship with a customer so that they may not be ready to buy $600 writing pants today, but they may be ready to buy it in a month. And how are they going to remember you? Chances are they're not, but if they're on your newsletter list and they're seeing your newsletters, then they're going to come back and purchase. And so we've helped a lot of e-commerce sites get up, like a pop-up widget or something that comes up on the site to collect an email address in exchange for an offer or a discount or something. So that, what's your free solution for people to come to the page so that they remember you after the fact when they leave the page, when they decide they're not ready to purchase today. So that said, we had somebody from let's see. Inside Inside Out Health Tips, which links to this Secrets to Massive Muscles report. So you should be able to see my page now. I've got this up here, and then the context of this page, the context is meant to capture email address, and I have an autoresponder campaign set up with wellness newsletter articles and affiliate sales and a few cookbooks at this point. One I'm leading is with a bodybuilding-oriented cookbook, businesses to grow health and fitness, following for future goods, which I assume means goods for sale. So, looking at this page that comes up first, I thought your explanation was maybe a little bit better than what's on the page, and I'm trying to think. I'm looking at this, and I think, secrets to massive muscle is obviously your headline. I don't necessarily think there's much wrong with that headline. Free PDF report. I would swap that with the 5 secrets to make your muscles explode in this space, and then have free PDF report for these secrets here for the space. And in terms of like what might be, so the challenge was put out and said this has a 2% conversion rate. I think there's a couple things that might be leading to this. One is that there's the colors on the page kind of make it feel the wrong way. It feels off with the background. There's nothing in the background or images that leads you to think that it's about muscles. And then what you're getting, the benefit, is clearly explained. But maybe that should be the focus of the headline, where the headline should just be, get 5 secrets that'll make your muscles explode, or with the subheadline, make simple changes to your routine, and a little bit more explanation above and below the form here in terms of what you're getting that's a benefit. So you explained on the chat that you're going to give them newsletters, you're going to give them articles that help, you've got cookbooks set up in the autoresponder campaign. Those are each bullet points as a benefit that could be listed below the form as extra reasons for signing up. Because I kind of look at this and I say, it feels a little scammy. You could be really specific, and being more specific helps cut down on that scam factor, the scam factor alarm that goes off inside everybody's head. So if it's, get your free report to learn how to build, massive muscles today, you explain what that report is, you ask for their name and their email address, and then below you say, you'll also receive, and you list 5 other specific things, or 5 specific things that they're going to get. That'll be really helpful. I think, to getting people here. And then let's see. Having this like and tweet, I never like seeing this at the top. Well, they're not actually connected to anything. This is just distracting. And I always say, why would somebody like or tweet before they read anything about the page? And so I would cut those right off of the top of this image. I would make the image more related in the background to bodybuilding, or massive muscles, or whatever your sort of after picture information is. I would take and then I would, like I said, I would focus the headline on get your free report to, so it's not just 2 lines, it's 1 line that flows together, 1 text color, not 2 text colors, and something that fits the page a little bit more. And so now if I sign up, you don't know how many newsletters I get. All right, so sort of like my traditional homepage is sort of almost like the thank you page. This is now just 1 text, 1 color. Our newsletter is packed with great information. All of this stuff could be explained or put on that homepage. You've also got this cookbook. So it took me signing up to see this information, which there's no harm to you giving away this information about what's there on the initial page that they would see. So I can get this cookbook.
Josh, real quick, I also see that there's no way for you to share the page with. I mean, after you sign up, sure, there's those top like and tweet buttons, but there's there's nothing for you to share the page specifically with your friends.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. That's a great point. And when I clicked this button, it didn't actually download a cookbook or anything. It just kind of took me to the top of the page. So I think one thing that really has to happen is shoring up. That when you promise something, you make sure it gets delivered. Test it out on different browsers. I'm not sure what's going on. I click Get It Now. Okay, My Documents PNG. So it still didn't do a download. For the people that get it, if you want them to tell other people about it, you have to make sure that they're actually able to download things. If you want to sign up for Kickoff Labs, we're happy to help. This is a type of page we see a lot of. We can help. We can make this a lot better. We can make it work for you, and we've got some concierge services that'll make this smooth. All right, so let's see. Thanks for the terrific feedback on my website. There is a Kickoff Labs page. I have this landing page set up with you guys, so it specifically capture email address for the crowdfunding campaign. Videos of how to get that charged up. Does it link back to my site? Simply not sure how to reach out and capture the email address. Could you link to the page that you've got with us, and we can maybe talk about that a little bit more?
Josh, real quick, it's lp.eqware.com.
Okay, lp.eqware.com.
EQ
where?
Dash, exactly.
Okay, something really big is happening, and you want to be the first to hear about it. I can give some quick feedback about this page, but it doesn't sound like that was your question specifically. And we could offer some suggestions about a different page. You don't have much copy. This page is really meant for a lot more, this template for having this copy on this left side of the image. And so, but I don't think this was necessarily your question, so I'm not going to go too much into the specific page. The question is, I was hoping to get some ideas of how to get that charged up and going. Does it link back to my site? I'm not sure how to reach out and capture the email address. So one, you can have a widget on your site that captures an email address directly or pops up and links people to the landing page to capture. Either strategy can work for capturing it, and that's, like I said, your website, regardless of whether you're doing a crowdfunding campaign, should have an email capture directly on the website, getting sort of in the visitor's face to let them know about this crowdfunding campaign. In terms of getting the word out about this, specifically about the pre-launch, I would look at it and say, well, are there niche communities online where people talk about Western wear and Western wear gear? The best bang for the buck is always just literally to go to those communities where people talk about this stuff, their chat rooms, their forums, their LinkedIn groups, wherever it is, and to say, hey, we're thinking about launching this Kickstarter campaign for this. Can you give us feedback? You're not asking them to sign up. Don't say, we're doing this, go sign up, because that's spammy. You want feedback on the page, on the campaign, on what you're doing. A, because hopefully you want to hear that feedback, and B, because they're going to click through and you're going to get people signing up that are looking at it. And I would literally, you could probably Google search, look where people are, Western wear forum, Western wear community, Western, horse riding forum, horse riding community, whatever your customer is, you need to find where they live online and really go after those places, whether it's blogs, whether it's, other types of online communities. Approach the blog writer, ask them if you can write a guest post. The same advice I would give to anybody trying to get their word out about a product launch is the same advice I would give somebody about for like a Kickstarter launch. That you want to go to these communities, you want to engage with them, you want to give them something useful, and you want to ask for feedback. So hopefully that's helpful. I don't think there was another page that got suggested, so I'm going to go on now since we've got some time to the next page here. So I'm going to let Izzy talk about this page. He actually helped feature it in the one of the pages for September that we had, and I'll let and so I know he's looked at it, and so I'm going to let him talk about this page.
Well, I have had the opportunity to look at this landing page. I really like the page. That's pretty much why I featured it in our favorites for the month of September. You should really check out that blog post. And the reason being is I really like how it pops. I really like how the page uses a very hard to use red color scheme that doesn't work for all sites. Specifically for this one, I mean it's a website called the Love Lab, so it works very very specifically. So those are the things that I like. Things that I would probably change on the page is I would probably focus on creating maybe consolidating the prize list where it's not so confusing to me, because when I initially looked at the page it was like, okay, well, you get free 3-month, and then okay, so you get a free 3-month membership. If you win, you get a free month of group line dates with, obviously it has a little asterisk, which means that there's details that do apply, and a free one-on-one date of your choice. So maybe consolidating that prize list, simplifying it a little bit, so where your visitors, when they arrive on the page, they'll find something that's not so confusing for them, and like it says, see rules for detailed information, and I don't see any. Okay, well, here's the rules page. And this is somewhat overwhelming. So looking at this rules page, this is a rules page. Well, it's a privacy page that's generated automatically by Kickoff Labs. We generate these pages for every page, so you have your own privacy. But this is what we generate. We only generate a small privacy section, and here you're adding just a whole bunch of detailed text. So maybe simplifying the contest rules. Every now and then I see companies saying, okay, well, these are our rules. This is stuff that our lawyers make us put, but this is how it really is, and they just put like a simplified explanation here at the top, just so everybody can understand, and it's in layman's terms, basically. Another suggestion that I would do is probably giving it a shorter end time for the contest date. So this contest ends in 45 days and 11 hours. That to me gives me plenty of time. Psychologically, it just makes me think that there's plenty of time for me to to come back maybe next week, or in 2 weeks, even 3 weeks or a month. This contest is still going to be valid. So adding just a little bit more urgency to the page. Maybe we actually have a customer who has a really great strategy, and he's using this exact theme, where he's running contests every week. So basically, it always says that there's 7 days at most 7 days left in the entire contest, and after 7 days, he just goes ahead and jumps into his Kickoff Labs builder and resets the date, and it turns out to be a great strategy for him. So that's probably something else that I would change. I don't want to take up too much time because we have a few more pages that we'd like to get to. Josh, do you have any other further suggestions?
No, I mean, I think you nailed it. I mean, simplifying the prizes, I think might help. Just in terms of things I really like about the page. I mean, like you said, the color scheme is jarring in a good way. I agree with that. I love the tagline. The cold is on his way. Are you looking for someone special? Like, I think it's really clear. It's a contest. Makes it clear what the product behind the contest is, and it's a fairly well done page. And I think Izzy's suggestions are some minor things that would help, especially the sense of the urgency. The 45 days, like you said. I see this. I'm like, well, let me think about it and come back. If that said 3 days to enter. I'd be a little bit more motivated to go right after it. So now let's move on. Unless there's any questions, I don't see any new questions. I'm going to move on to one of the next pages. So keeping with that theme, let's actually go with another contest page. We're giving away some great prizes. This is timely. I like that it's I like that it's Halloween featured. There's a background image. Um, we're giving away some great prizes. The grand prize, just in terms of thinking about it, just think little nits about the copy, and maybe this is where you don't, where people that aren't thinking about, the little nits. This is prizes in plural, but the grand prize includes this. It seemed a little weird to not say like other prizes would include, or or just to make this singular and say, well, the grand prize or prizes include. Because the other site, like I said, actually listed 3 different things. The plural and then the singular is a little bit potentially confusing. Then the next thing is if I come here, win a fabulous toy for your child. It's easy to enter is 1, 2, 3. And now I came in here and say answer correctly to qualify. What does CVI stand for? So this is another feature where you get people to answer questions. They're not entering their email address, and once they're committed to doing that, then you'll ask them for their email address. So if I go in here, my answers are Crispy Virtual Island. Oh, I'm wrong. I really don't know what it stands for. Comical Vampire Incident. Oh, I'm wrong again. I don't know what this stands for. Cortical Visual Impairment. So it's probably related to their audience. So I'm assuming that this enabling devices site, actually they sell things related to related to things like that. Their audience would know the answer. I think it's important not to make the question too difficult. But if they're confident their audience knows the answer to that question, then it's a cute little thing because you had those 2 wrong answers before they had the right answer here. It might help below the form to add a link to this contest sponsored by enabling or promoted by enablingdevices.com where there's a link, but that could be distracting to the form. So let me just type this in, and then if I enter to win. All right, and the other page would work this way too. There's a great sharing screen on this contest theme where it's, oh, you've entered the contest, want to increase your odds winning by sharing with friends, and I've got the share link, and I've got places to share within here.
And you have an awesome personal referral link as well, Josh. I want to point that out.
Yep, so this is a personal referral link. So anybody that I bring in using this link or clicking these buttons is going to be referred by me. It doesn't necessarily say how they're increasing the odds, but it did thank me for entering the contest. Something better that you can do here is to say a secondary prize or $25 will be given to the person who gets the most friends signed up. So really being specific about the contest and saying, if you get the most friends signed up, then you're going to get $25. The other thing I would think about is just simplifying the font colors a little bit. Keeping the headline as white, keeping this headline color as white, and then keeping this font as white. It's just the simpler the better sometimes, so not having as many choices around the fonts like that. Izzy, did you have anything else?
Well, basically I really like this page, but the only thing that I would kind of change is maybe just adding a bit more information. I've had the opportunity to speak with Andre, and actually Little Bear Seas is an awesome non-profit organization that's helping kids that have a visual impairment, which I think is very impressive. But let's say that somebody shared that Facebook link with me, and for some reason I click onto this page. Maybe just adding a bit more. Just a bit more context to the page, because as an example, when Josh arrived, he really didn't know what CVI stand for. He said that obviously your niche is going to understand a little bit more about your product, but just adding a bit more context. I mean, just for that, just to give that viral boost an extra boost, so people understand what they're arriving on at your page.
Yeah, I agreed. I think that's what I was getting at, where I didn't quite understand what CVI was. I didn't quite have the context, and adding a little bit of context about who's promoting the contest would be beneficial. That way, even if somebody's not entering, they learn a little bit about your organization. It's sort of like having a secondary call to action on the contest of, they might not want to enter, but at least they'll come away with some more knowledge. And if you're a nonprofit, the more people that know about you, the better. And so I think that would be useful for them. I think that's so. There's only a few minutes left. I don't think anybody else here had sent us a page. I had a few more pages we could have gotten to, but I don't want to try and squeeze them in. I want to respect the boundaries of sort of the hour long session that we'd scheduled. So we'll be posting a recap of this chat, links to the pages that we reviewed, images of the pages we reviewed, and we'll be posting the feedback as well within the next few days. Hopefully, you guys found this chat beneficial. I know it's a lot of fun for me and Izzy to go through and look at the pages and give some feedback. And so tell some folks about our next chat. And then if you didn't already know, so our product is of course Kickoff Labs. And this is what we do. So we help people, our product helps people not just build landing pages, but build smarter campaigns. What do we mean by smarter campaigns? So obviously we reviewed landing pages. The opt-in forms or click-through stuff that we talked about that people could use for their e-commerce sites. The email replies that go out, which we didn't necessarily review any today, although I did receive a few from signing up to people's pages. And then the viral boost. So our product is especially helpful if you're running a contest or want to get just 35% more leads in general from a better thank you experience on whatever form you're having people signed up on. So that said, I'll leave it to you guys. Go ahead, check out our page, kickofflabs.com. Check out our product. Send us email. My email address is josh@kickofflabs.com. Izzy is izzy@kickofflabs.com, and we will see you in 2 weeks with another great chat. Later, all.